You can start recording.
Yep.
Yeah, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we don't have our normal pinch hitter here, so I've asked Dennis to pinch hit for invocation. So Dennis, thank you.
Dear God, we thank you. The Vikings are way ahead of everybody else. Oh, sorry. Right, Gary? That's a good thing.
Did Nebraska win Saturday?
Nebraska is getting better. Dear Jesus, we thank you. We're thankful for that too. Dear Jesus, we thank you and we pray for your love and your protection, your blessing over us, our families, our jobs, our health. We thank you for sunshiny days. We pray that you just encourage and bless us on the days when it's snowy and rainy. And we know that all that's part of your plan and that's what makes the crops grow so we can eat. We pray that you'd watch over and bless our meeting today and the work of Rotary even when we're not here. And guide us and help us. We thank you in your name. Amen.
Amen. And it's next year for the Cubs.
Wow, okay. Apparently it's a sports day. We don't have a whole lot of announcements. I do have something from Cheryl's gonna pinch hit for John Fry about dictionaries. Unless Cheryl, you just want to send that paper around? Yeah.
Dictionary time, waiting for the stickers, hopefully next Monday, we'll have put stickers on, I'm not sure, but anyway. Sign up, sheet will sign up.
If you'd like to sign up for the school to distribute the dictionaries, please sign up. That paper will be coming around. We need people to distribute those dictionaries. Sign up for a school if you can. Yes, thank you. Yes, we'll have a board meeting next week too. Prior to this meeting, 10:45 is the start time. So board members will see you there. Anybody have anything from the floor? Oh, Sue's got something. Sue, go ahead.
The kids for kicks, those boots are on order 2 from around, so they'll come in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Boots are coming in. Kids get boots. Love it. Thank you, Sue. Anybody else have anything from the floor? Or we're going to move rapidly through this. Who's got fellowship today? It's either Christy or Dave, according to this book.
I can cover it, Andrew. You need a bench?
Sure. I could do that. And I will hold it as probably Christy. And I'll send her a text message.
Fellowship is the part where we read off all the guests and welcome them, right? Not the check. Or is it the trivia thing where we gather money for scholarship? It's all of that?
You could just, it's all of that.
All right, let me pull up my notes. Okay. All right. Why don't we do students first, I suppose? Who's hosting our students today? You're our man.
I have two students, two seniors from the Beast. Stand in the white jacket with Kylie DeVoe and in the gray jacket.
Kylie and Avery, good to have you girls. And Andy, go ahead.
This is Riley, Nathan, and Elijah Letters from both seniors. This is your first time here.
All right. Norland, do you want to introduce? You want to just save it for when you introduce the big deal? All righty. Today for our trivia, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about cranberry sauce. Sorry. Let me just find them. So I think if this works, right answers are $3, wrong answers are $22. $5. Why don't we start with, Greg, why don't we lump you in with this table at that time? And why don't we start with Gary, your guys' table? In what year was cranberry sauce first sold to mass markets? Your options are 1853, 1941, 1974, or 2001. I can read those again if you want. 1853, 1941, 1974, 2001. Excuse me.
First one. We're gonna take the first day.
Good guess. It's wrong. 1853 was not it. It was 1941 that it was first sold to mass markets. Good try. Julie, why don't we go to your table? How many cranberries are used for 1 can of cranberry sauce? Your options are 15 cranberries, 75, 135, or 200 cranberries into 1 can of cranberry sauce. 15, 75, 135, or 200. It's a good guess. Also wrong. 200 cranberries into a little can of cranberry sauce. All right. Why don't we? I'm going to stump the whole group today. This is great. Why don't we go to this back group? Whoever wants to be the spokesperson back there. Let's see. How many pounds of cranberry sauce are sold in America each Thanksgiving? 10 million, 30 million, 50 million, or 80 million pounds of cranberry sauce sold in America every Thanksgiving holiday. Let me read it again. 10, 30, 50, or 80 million pounds of cranberry sauce. It's a good guess. It's 80 million pounds. Pull them out. Let's see. Okay, this will be a good one. And both of these tables. According to the Harris poll, what percentage of Americans describe cranberry sauce as disgusting? Options are 32%, 46%, 63%, or 99%.
I guarantee you 99% of this room thinks that cranberry. I don't think they're.
32, 46, 63, or 99. What'd you say final answer? Is incorrect. 46 of Americans find cranberry sauce disgusting. So, stump the whole room today. Scholarship's never seen so much money come in. I think that's how this works, right? That's it? All right, thanks everyone. Go.
Dave Rose has something. Dave Rose.
I have a comment.
Okay.
How do you pick the cranberry? And what state would they be known in?
This is my trivia thing. I think it's Wisconsin.
It's for sure Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, and they do it with water, right? They put big pools of water.
I have probably the only pair of bees made from picked cranberry. They're this wide. They're 8 foot long and have a 2-foot curl. And they're ready for walking on top of the walls when it gets cold. And the cranberry is key.
All right. Well, there you go. You got a little bit of extra trivia knowledge there. So when you end up on Jeopardy, now you got that. If there's a cranberry category, you got that'll be the $1,000 question for sure. Okay, so I'm a little disappointed that Christy isn't here to do that because I was promised bad dad jokes, and I didn't get bad dad jokes, so I have a bad dad joke. I went to the dentist, and I'm disappointed in his presentation because he was doing my exam. He said, "When's the last time you flossed?" And I'm like, "Dude, you were there." All right, moving on to program. It's not true. I got a very good response from my dentist. Norland's going to take the program for us. Norland, floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just tell you 2 things. Number 1, our speaker is a heck of a lot better than our president's jokes. And by the way, the Vikings have a good tight end now, so you guys are in. I thought it'd be interesting. I thought it'd be beneficial today to learn a little bit more about our County Conservation Commission. They have a lot of programs, a lot of beneficial things they do, not just for the community, but for the area and for the environment. So Phil Visser is the executive director. He's been in Clinton County since July of 2020. Grew up in Pella, Iowa, graduated from Utah State, worked at Appanoose County until he was selected for Clinton County. So our guest speaker, Phil Visser.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. I told Norland when he called me that as long as it was here and there was good food, they weren't gonna have to worry about getting me here. And so my joke, I guess, that I would start off these speeches with is that I really don't have a fear of public speaking. I can get up here and ramble on all I want. I always figure the worst case scenario is that I do a really bad job and then you guys never ask me to come back again and I can just not worry about it. In fact, I know if I let out like a little swear word or something, I'll probably really never get asked. That really got me out of speaking in church a lot, is that, you know, if I just, you know, let something out that I shouldn't, then they'll leave me alone. So, but like Norland said, you know, I'm the director with the Clinton County Conservation Board. And I guess I'd like to kind of start off by saying how grateful I am to be here and be able to live in Clinton County. Right now I live out by Calamus, which I got to say, Clinton County is a very big county. That was one of the first things that I had to figure out when I first moved here, is that I couldn't plan on going to Eden Valley, which is located up just north of Lost Nation, and then going to the admin building, and then going to Calamus, and then going to Comanche. I couldn't plan that in one day, because I think the first couple weeks I was here, I was putting about 1,000 miles on the county car in a week, and that was going to get me in trouble eventually. So, but there's just so many great opportunities here and a lot of great areas and a lot of great people. The first and foremost, the priority of the Clinton County Conservation Board is the people. You know, we are here to serve both the citizens of Clinton County and also those who are coming here and visiting, because we have a lot of visitors. If you go out to any of our parks or any of our recreation areas, you'll see we have people coming from Illinois, Wisconsin, and in fact, the other day we were out at one of our public hunting areas, and we met these gentlemen there from Illinois, and they had driven all the way from Chicago, and they said that, well, there's no areas to hunt in Illinois, and so they said they used to plan on going to South Dakota or stuff, and then they found Clinton County, and they're like, well, this is a lot closer, and they would rather come here. And I mean, that's great to have those people coming. And they come here, they stop at our gas stations, they go to the restaurants, they'll stay at hotels if they're not camping. We're always happy to have people camping, but when it gets down to 30 degrees at night, I'm not a big fan of it. Other people seem to like it. But first and foremost, we're here for the people. And we're also here to help grow Clinton County. One of the things, like I had a discussion with some of our staff this morning, as I was trying to see if any of them would want to come here and speak instead of me, which didn't work. It's amazing how they're all really busy when something like this happens. You know, there's other times where I don't, it seems like, they're just sitting in the office. But, I asked them, well, what would bring somebody to Clinton County? Like, why would somebody want to live here? The first thing that I would figure, and this goes for somebody moving anywhere, the first thing is jobs. If somebody has a job here, they're going to want to live close by. But the other things are having good schools. Everybody who had kids, they said, well, we want to be somewhere where there's good schools. And then they said the other things would be that there are things to do. One of the great things here in Clinton County, we have the Quad Cities nearby. And I got to tell you, I love having the Quad Cities as close as it is. It provides an opportunity for me to be able to go. There's restaurants and things there that I can go to, and I don't have to drive 4 hours to go. There's also obviously a lot of great things here in Clinton as well. I'm not trying to, say like, oh, I'd rather go to Davenport than go to Clinton. But there's a lot of great opportunities there. But we also have the opportunity to really live in the country. I mean, where I live, it's the countryside. I live down about 5 miles of gravel road. And there's quite a few people, I'm sure there's people here that are in similar situations where they, excuse me, they, work in the city, but they live in the countryside. And that's something that we can offer here. A lot of people don't want to live in the city. They want to, be able to, walk out their front door and see deer running around, or, be able to go walking or hiking, or, they want to be able to leave their door unlocked when they leave the house and not have to be freaking out about that all day. And so that's one thing that we try to do, is we try to provide opportunities and areas for those people for people that live in Clinton County to be able to enjoy that. Not everybody lives on a couple hundred acres of property where they can, go hunt or fish right off of, right on their own property. So we try to provide that. We have about 2,000 acres of public land that is managed by Clinton County, by the Clinton County Conservation Board. And, with that land, we're able to, we try to provide multiple use. There's a lot of hunting. That's all. And it's interesting when I'm in Iowa and I talk about outdoors, everybody, the first thing that pops into people's head is hunting. That isn't the case everywhere. Well, hunting and fishing. I love fishing. So I'll talk about fish. I could stay here and talk about fishing all day. But there's a lot of other things, hiking, biking. We're coming into winter, and pretty soon we're going to have snowmobiles going around. We do allow snowmobiles inside some of our parks. So that's a great thing. They're there. If you go up to you go to Wisconsin, or if you go out west and you talk about outdoors, a lot of times people are thinking hiking, jogging, doing other things. So I guess I'm saying when I say outdoors, I don't just mean, well, areas that I can go hunt or areas I can go fish. Or I'm also talking about camping. I'm also talking about being able to go bird watching. That's a big one as well. So there's a lot of other opportunities, and we try to provide opportunities for a lot of different people to be able to participate, not just, well, I'm going to go and hopefully shoot a big duck, which you can do in Clinton County. I won't tell you exactly where, but there are some awful big deer living on some public ground. I may have seen a few of them here and there, so they're out there. But overall, outdoor recreation, it does provide so many great opportunities for growth, and not just for a community, but also for individuals. You're able to be healthy going outdoors. I can tell you that I can burn an awful lot of calories if I go hunting. And even if I don't have to actually drag the deer out, then it's a whole other ordeal. But being able to go fishing, there's tons of people that are able to do that. And one of the great things also with outdoor recreation is that you can put as much effort into it as you want, and you can put as much money into it as you want. It's not something that is restricted to, oh, well, I'd love to go fishing, but I don't have $100,000 to put on a brand new fishing boat, or, I can't afford to fly down to Florida. Well, you can go fish out here. You can go out to Lake Malone or Lake Killdeer, just there south of, east of DeWitt. Had to think about it for a second. And you can take a Zebco fishing rod that you get at Walmart for $10. Take a little can of worms with you, and I can tell you can catch plenty of fish doing that. You don't have to, spend all this money to go do it. It's the same with camping. We've got people that come out and use our facilities with big campers that, cost way more than most houses. And they're able to go out and do that. But we also have a lot of people that like to just go and stay in a tent. And we'll have those people staying right next to each other in our parks. And that's kind of what we target. We want to be able to provide opportunities for everybody with our campgrounds. And we've got several campgrounds, several great campgrounds in this area. We've got Rock Creek, which I'm sure many of you know about. That's really our crown jewel. It's our biggest area. We also have Walnut Grove Campground just north of Toronto, right on the Wapsie. We have Eden Valley Park and Preserve, which, like I mentioned earlier, it's located just north of Lost Nation, actually just south of Baldwin, right on the Clinton County, Jackson County border. And we also have a Sherman Park, which is a much smaller campground located south of Calamus. It's kind of right along the Wapsie, just across from the Scott County Wapsie Educational Center. And each of these parks, they're very different. The Wapsie or Sherman Park has right now 8 campsites. We're going to be adding some more to it shortly, but it's much more quiet, much more secluded. Whereas Rock Creek, if you've stayed at Rock Creek, there's a lot more activity going on there. There's a lot of people there. It's got a lot going on. So it's has their own kind of personalities, if you will. Walnut Grove can be, it's all a little busier, but again, it's a little more secluded than Rock Creek. And then Eden Valley has, not just a campground, but it has miles of trails. It has a creek that comes through it that kids love to play in. And they love to make messes because they get mud on sand all over themselves and go in the bathrooms and clean themselves off. But that's okay. We're more than happy to provide that opportunity for them. But here in Clinton County, like I said, we have so many great opportunities and, areas for people to go and to recreation. And like I said, for all different kinds of people. And so that's kind of where, what we do as a conservation board. What I do specifically is I'm responsible for the day-to-day operations. I think that's what my job description says, responsible for day-to-day operations of the conservation board. That includes a lot of the maintenance of the parks, which they take a lot of maintenance, a lot of mowing, a lot of trimming. We hire a lot of seasonal employees. On that note, I'll just say that if any of you guys know anyone that's going to be looking for a summer job here, I know summer's a long ways away, but it'll be here before you know it. You can always refer them our way. We're always looking for some good young people to come and, who are willing to either sit on a lawnmower or carry a weed whacker around all summer. It's great. That's how I got started in conservation. I came home from college for the summer. My dad said, well, you're going to go work for the conservation board in Marion County. And that was kind of how I started was, with a line trimmer and learning how to drive a tractor, which did not go well. And I'm very grateful that they were very patient with me. And I assure you that we will be patient with the young people as well. We expect them to hit a couple of things with our mowers and stuff like that. It happens. That's why we got new mowers, right? Right, Tom? So, but I mean, the other thing that I do is I am responsible for a lot of the planning and coordinating for some of our projects. We have a lot of big projects coming up. We are right now, well, we just had our Conservation Foundation banquet over the weekend. The big project that our Conservation Foundation is working on right now is the Eden Valley Nature Center remodel. In 2020, we were able to build a new community room that went and was attached to our nature center there at Eden Valley. And I'd like to thank Norland for his help with that project. He served on our Conservation Foundation board and was able to help get that project going. That was a very long and very expensive project. And it was completed in 2020. I'd love to take more credit for it, but basically all I did is I showed up and they had it done and I just went and cut the ribbon and said, good job. So, but it provided a great facility there where, people can come, they can use it. It gets rented for birthday parties, we've had wedding receptions there. We've had, a couple of different events at that facility. And it also, has some really nice restrooms as well. I can tell you the restrooms are very important when it comes to our parks, because that's something I've always said that the restrooms are tough because nobody ever seems to want to donate money towards them. But man, if you don't have them, they're a problem. But going back to the Eden Valley Nature Center, with that facility now, it helped us to see how outdated the rest of the building is. I'm sure many of you guys have experience where you renovated a room in your house and then you looked at the rest of the house and oh crud, now I gotta do this room too because it's just not comparable. So we're in the works of that right now. And that's going to be a project we're going to be working on the next couple of years. Some of our other projects are, we're gonna be redoing our electrical service at Rock Creek, Campground and Marina, as well as at Sherman Park. We're gonna be adding new electrical sites. What we're doing though is we're renovating what we have, because one of the important things to me is making sure that it's not just that, well, we're adding new facilities, it's taking care of what we do have and making sure that those facilities are in great shape. And so with this new electrical project, we're gonna be renovating our existing sites. We're gonna be adding more sites. And we're also looking to the future. I told our electrical engineer that I want to plan for building new cabins. I want to plan for, other new facilities that may go in, just because, I don't want it to be, all right, we do this huge electrical renovation, and then in 5 years we say, oh, let's add something new, and then now we have to redo everything again because we're adding a new facility. And the same at Sherman Park. We're going to be renovating what we have and adding in new electrical sites as well to just provide more opportunities for people to go out. I can tell you that, and many of you probably noticed this after COVID or during the pandemic in 2020, there were a lot of people outdoors. Our campgrounds were full. We had the busiest year we'd ever had in 2020 by a significant amount. And we're continuing to see that as people continue to go outside. And I'm sure everyone's kind of aware that there's a lot of worry right now with the economy and outdoor recreation, camping, in particular. A lot of people will continue to do that. In 2008, there were a lot of people that continued to go out and continued to camp. In fact, a lot of new people that maybe in the past were like, well, I'm going to go, to Mexico or Hawaii or wherever. Then they say, well, I don't think I'm going to do that. Instead, let's go camping for vacation instead. And, we try to provide that opportunity, so that people can go and recreate and enjoy the outdoors no matter what's going on. But that's, what I do again is just coordinating that. And I try to work very closely with, all the local groups, especially with the other groups in Clinton County Board of Supervisors over there. They've been a big supporter of what we do, as well as some of the cities, and also, local volunteer groups. In fact, just recently, we have volunteer days out at our parks all the time. We had Lyondell out there a couple of weeks ago, and they planted new trees at Rock Creek, and they helped clean up Rock Creek Park. And, it's great to be able to see that and to be able to have these volunteer groups coming out. One of the other big things that we do as well is we provide educational opportunities for our youth and for our adults. We have and I don't have numbers to back this up, but I'm going to say the #1 environmental education program in the state of Iowa. We have people come from, many other areas. They come here to partake in our educational opportunities. In fact, we have schools from the Quad Cities that come to our nature centers and use our facilities with our naturalists, and they have to pay for that. So the way that we are structured, if it's a Clinton County school or a Clinton County group, then it's free to use our nature center for our naturalists to come out, put on programs. But if it's schools outside of Clinton County, whether it's Jackson County, Cedar County, wherever, they do have to, pay a small fee for that. It's a fee per student, but they do, because we have such great opportunities here for them to be able to come out and be able to, learn about, what we have.
Phil,
So,
can I add something to that?
oh yeah, go ahead.
The foundation set up a fund to pay for the transportation because the school district's budget were so high. So the last number I had was like 5,400 students have come through there. But the foundation is set up to provide the transportation to get those buses here for the teachers.
Yes, our foundation does have a busing scholarship, which is a big help for a lot of those schools that, and that's not only for, schools outside of Clinton County, but that's provided for everybody to have access to, because that is one of the big issues that we have when we're trying to schedule programs. is schools trying to be like, well, they have to coordinate. I mean, if you have, you know, trying to think of one of the schools. If you have Northeast, for example, that's coming to Rock Creek, well, that's quite a, you know, it's a good distance. And then also they have, you know, trying to coordinate the buses, and, you know, you may have, we will have 120 plus kids sometimes coming to these events. So it can be pretty busy. I had the opportunity this year to help out with some of those environmental education programs. And I can tell you, I'm not near as good as our naturalists who, you know, are able to, you know, really help these kids learn. I do my best. I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is this and this is this. And I try to hang on as best I can. But that's one of the things that we have that really does set us apart is the size and the amount of work that our environmental education program puts in. There's a lot of places where a lot of counties, so with the 99 counties in Iowa, all of them have a county conservation board. That's part of the state code is that there will be each county has to have that. But there are definitely some counties where their conservation board is quite a bit smaller. When I was in Appanoose County, and Appanoose County is a much smaller county in general, but the conservation board staff consisted of myself. We had one naturalist that we had 3/4 time, and then we had one part-time employee. So there's you know quite a discrepancy there between what they have and what we have. And then as far as our environmental education programs go, you know, we do have 4 full-time naturalists. And I mean, the only other counties that would compare to us in the size of their programs would be maybe Polk County, maybe Story County. But even then, they're not bigger than we are. So, I mean, they're bigger size-wise, but as far as their programs go. So that's kind of where we're at there. And that's something I'm really grateful for. But like I said, our main thing is that we try to serve the people. We want to make sure that everybody is able to go out and have a good time. And also we want to make sure that, again, our facilities are presentable and nice so that when visitors come here, they see Clinton County and they say, wow, this is a great area. I mean, I can tell you one of the things, like when I go visit somewhere, I love parks and I'm going to go check out the parks. And if they look great, I'm going to say, wow, these guys have their stuff together. And to be honest, that's one of the reasons that I moved here. And I know there's other people that have done the same thing. You know, I think I mentioned earlier, I love fishing. I could go fishing all day and be totally happy. You know, it's a pesky job thing that gets in the way of that. But when I was looking for where I was going to move, you know, I looked at here and we have the Mississippi River there with great fishing. We have, you know, a lot of other opportunities in the area. And that was definitely one of the things that made me say, yeah, this is somewhere that I could see, and I could see myself coming and I could see myself living here for, you know, for the rest of my life. I know there's other people that, you know, feel the same way, that they, you know, they come here, but then they find how happy they are here with our opportunities, whether that's hunting, whether that's fishing, whether that's hiking, or, you know, all the other great opportunities that we have here. I mean, that's kind of what I want to see more than anything else, is to see Clinton County grow. That's, you know, one of my passions is, you know, economic growth and community growth. And, you know, that I'm always trying to find how we as a conservation board can do a great job of helping this area, and how we can be great representatives of Clinton County and provide those great opportunities. So thank you so much for allowing me to come here. I feel like I've kind of rambled on, and now I'm kind of looking down at my notes and going, wow, I don't know where I'm at. So
Bill, do you want to mention the Eco Center at the Blue Heron?
oh, sure. So at Rock Creek, I hope everyone, if you haven't had a chance to get out there, I hope that you do. But we have a wonderful facility there, the Rock Creek, or the Mississippi River Ecotourism Center at Rock Creek. And it is, you know, a great facility. We have, you know, there's like a small restaurant there. So if you're ever looking for some quick food for lunch, you know, there is some good food there. And we also have some great displays there. And we also have the Herring Hall there. And if you're ever looking for like a banquet venue or something, it is a top-notch facility. Could seat, I think, over 200 people. So, we have quite a few wedding receptions, graduation parties and things like that out at that facility. And it's right there at Rock Creek. So you can, take your boat out while you're there. You can, go camping. You can use one of our cabins. And again, I'd actually want to add to, I kind of talked about how with camping, we try to provide areas where, anyone can use, whether it's you're just using a tent or if you have a big camper. We do the same thing with our cabins. We have, I don't know how many cabins, but we've had a few that are big full service cabins with everything nice, kitchen, walk-in shower, everything that you would want there. And then we have other cabins where it's basically just a roof over your head. And that's because some people, that's what they want. I can tell you when I go camping, I don't need all those nice things. I just need somewhere I can lay down and I'll be good. But, I can tell you, like my parents, if they go camping, I don't know, they want everything that you could ever imagine. They want satellite TV and they want, high-speed internet, and they want hot tubs and all those things. So, we try to provide that as well. And then also the Blue Heron is another one of our environmental education tools. It is a pontoon boat that is stationed out of Rock Creek, and we take people out on cruises. Usually in the summer, it's every Thursday, and then we also do specialty cruises. I will tell you, we're done for the year. So it's don't call the center hoping to get on a cruise this Thursday, because in fact, I think the Blue Heron has been taken out of the river at this point. So, but next year we'll start up doing that again. And those cruises are completely free to the public. All you got to do is call and sign up, and you can come on down and hop on and go out for a little cruise out on the river. It's actually a really great thing if you have visitors or family coming in, because we can take 24 people out on it at a time. So if you have family coming in, they can come out. It's comfortable. It's it's stable. It's a big wide boat, so you're not out there rocking around getting seasick or anything like that. So
One of the neatest ones is the Moonlight Cruise when they go out on the full moon. That's really
Yep.
cool.
Yep. Yeah, we do a Moonlight Cruise. We do Starlight Cruise. We do some morning cruises where, some people seem like they want to get up at 6 a.m. and go out on a cruise to go look at birds and stuff. We do that as well. The sunset cruises are the ones that are on Thursdays. And I believe those start in end of May. And then we run those through October. So. All right, any questions? Yeah.
You talk about big deer, and I have a couple bull hunters, and they no longer are just hunting for any deer, they're hunting for trophy deers, which is kind of interesting. But the last 2-3 weeks, we have a new animal, is a bobcat moved in, and we're seeing quite regularly, and it's kind of exciting to see all of the wildlife and an abundance of wildlife.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot more bobcats. Where I live, I haven't seen one there, but I've seen the tracks going through. And actually at Sherman Park, we had an incident a couple of weeks ago where there was one. I don't know if you guys have ever heard a bobcat yell, but it's kind of an eerie sound. And there was one that in the timber somewhere that was kind of howling, and there were a bunch of campers that were like, well, what is that? They thought maybe it was a kid or something that had been lost. And I told them, no, that's a bobcat. Don't worry about them. And bobcats are not dangerous at all. So that's, worth saying too. They're an interesting animal though. So yes.
Why don't you tell them what you're gonna do with the $1 billion ARP?
Oh boy, would I love to tell you guys all about that. So we got a couple of projects that we've been working on. These are some projects. So one of the things that we did last year is we completed our strategic plan for the conservation board. And it kind of was like a 5 to 10 year plan on, okay, this is what we're going to do. And in that plan, we said, well, we need to have some big projects that we wanted to have that were ready to go. So if somehow we ended up with a lot of money coming our way, we weren't going to be scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. And lo and behold, that happened with the ARPA money, where suddenly there was an influx of money to the county. And we did have quite a few projects ready to go, didn't we, Tom? So, the big ones that we're working on now is we have our main office. It's located at Grand Mound or just south of Grand Mound. The building was built in the 70s and has not been changed since the 70s. And it's in a little rough shape. And we're going to be doing some major renovations to that office to make it more usable for the future. The other big project is as I mentioned, the electrical upgrade. That project it's a big project. I mean, we have at Rock Creek, we have 85 campsites. Of those 85, most of those are electric. We probably have about 65 of those are electrical campsites. And we're talking about basically going in and redoing everything there. So that's a big project. And thankfully, the Clinton County Board of Supervisors were willing to fund that project, as well as that project at Sherman Park as well. And then also quite a bit of our equipment needs, because we have quite a bit of equipment that is in need of repair. And so we were able to use money to replace quite a bit of that, which of course, as anybody knows, trying to get equipment right now, it's not all that easy, but we're doing what we can. So. Any other questions?
Thanks, Phil. That was great. Every week we donate a book to the Children's Library at the Clinton Public Library on behalf of our speaker. And this week's book is The Welcome Chair. Doesn't quite fit that application this week, but hey, what the heck. So if you'd sign us.
I think it does.
Okay, I'll take his word for it. Great, so thank you for that. Run down a list of thank yous. Thank you, Sue, for taking care of the greeting for us today, and Dennis for pinch hitting on invocation, and Brent for filling in for the fellowship chair. I appreciate that. We'll give it to Christy a little bit later. Let her have it for not showing up. And thank you, Norland, for taking care of the program. And to our guests, Elijah, Riley, Kylie, and Avery, thank you for being here today. And just a reminder that Friday is Veterans Day. All you veterans, raise your hands. Just me and Tom in here today. All right. Well, thank you, sir, for your service. Can you find a vet, take a vet, and with that, Imagine Rotary. Oh, wait, Tom's got something. I almost rang you out, sir.
We're ready to vote. You can vote today.
Oh, yeah.
County Administrative Building or go vote tomorrow.
I heard there's an election. Make sure you vote. With that, Imagine Rotary.
Thank you. Good job. Great job.